The big guys are all creating their AI clones. Hormozi has Acquisition AI, Iman Gatti has his AI clone, Tony Robbins has the Tony Robbins AI app. So today, I'm gonna show you how to create your own AI clone. And I'm gonna make sure that you don't need to be an AI expert to understand this. It'll be easy to follow, and at the end, you will leave with a straight plan on how to create your AI clone. With prompts included, this is what you'll leave with today. So I'm gonna give you all the prompts so that you can create your own AI clone. So why are the big guys pivoting to AI? Why courses are a shrinking market? What exact GPTs should you build? How to turn your course into GPTs? Assembling and testing your GPT, how to sell it with the hot to cold strategy, and how to turn your GPTs into a membership. Let's begin. So why are the big guys pivoting to AI? Why now? And I think the answer is on your phone. So let's say you want to look something up. Do you open up Google or do you open up ChatGPT? These two are the difference between pure info and customized info. So I can look up best restaurants in Paris and I'll get somewhat of a helpful answer. But I can tell ChatGPT, I'm by the Eiffel Tower, I don't want to walk more than 10 minutes or spend more than $20 for lunch. What are my options? And it'll tell me everything. It'll be a much more useful answer. And so because it's more useful, they can deliver more value to their clients. Therefore, they can sell it for more. Therefore, they can help more people. And so the cycle continues. It's a benign cycle. One is just info. The other, when you have a GPT, that's speed, engagement, customization, and the ability to ask follow-up questions. Because I could go to the AI and tell it, actually, I can spend $30. I'm feeling a little bit rich today. So what do you got for me? And it'll tell you something. One gives you pure info that you may have to sift through, which is kind of tedious and a lot of people don't do it. Actually, most. You'll see a statistic later. But the other one, the GPT, gives you exactly what you need. And that is much more valuable, which is why you use ChatGPT to look things up over something like Google. So by turning your products into GPTs, which I call Cashies, and I'll refer to them as Cashies for the rest of this video, you can turn the same help that usually takes your competition 1 hour to deliver with a course into something that takes you 5 minutes, which is fairly standard, with a GPT. It's faster, it's more engaging, it's custom, and it gives your customer the ability to ask questions, which makes it not twice as valuable. It's not 3 times as valuable. But if a course takes 60 minutes and your GPT or your Cashie takes 5 minutes, that's 12 times as valuable. The exact same piece of material is now 12 times more valuable to somebody. And if so, there was a chance to make your stuff 12 times more valuable, why wouldn't you? It's better for them, it's better for you. And that's the upside. But now what is the downside of not selling AI? Like, what do you have to lose for not selling AI? And I believe that if you don't pivot to that, you will find yourself in more of a shrinking market. Because courses, info, just like the Google search, is hard to sit through. People don't consume 1 hour trainings as much as we think they do. We have our course template material inside of our community, but they don't really watch it. It just doesn't happen. They quit within 4 minutes because they get distracted. And you know that happens. A statistic here is that the average online course completion rate is 5 to 15%. Over half never even opened the material they bought. And this is shocking, but also not shocking because this is a behavior that maybe you have experienced. I know I have experienced that. I buy something and I just don't open it. I have a bunch of books that I haven't read. That's just how it goes. And so maybe they're valuable, but they couldn't deliver any value to me because of me. And everybody has this issue. So education is going through what I call a fast internet moment. There was a time in which you lived with slow internet. Remember those old times? Well, there used to be like that when things took like an entire night to download and you were okay with that because that was the only thing available. But the moment that fast internet came along, then slow internet became a pain. It just became unacceptable. You didn't want to wait longer than 5 seconds for a video to load. And so the people who could offer that got the business. Now courses, my theory is they are becoming slow Wi-Fi. People will look at people who sell courses today the same way they look at shops that only take cash. They're like, don't you have Apple Pay? Can I use my credit card? And often they just go somewhere else because they are just more convenient. You can see this in your own phone. Like people don't Google things anymore. They ChatGPT things. Like the very verb of can you Google that is changing nowadays. Even though Google is a really good tool, we now know that there's something a lot better. And the reason why these courses, they're in the decline, it's because they don't have any real moat. Now, you will hear this word a lot in the software industry. This has a moat. This business has a moat. So what is a moat? A moat is what makes it hard to beat you. And this is a moat right here. Literally, it means this lake you see around the castle. And if you have that, it makes hard to beat you. But if you don't have that, well, anybody can just copy it and just go inside, right? Now, a GPT, a Cashie, allows you to have a moat because everybody can sell the info that you sell, but not many people can offer the experience that you offer with your taste creating a Cashie. Now, compare these two guys. Who of these have the better moat? So there's the info tour guide that is like every other tour guide ever, every other info seller ever that tells you, I'll show you the city, I'll show you the way, just like everybody else. And then the effectiveness is like, I don't know, like a 5 out of 10. But then imagine a fast pass tour guide comes along and he says, I'm going to give you a full city tour. And by the way, with me, you have a fast pass. So you skip every line. Then that's very interesting because that person has a moat. He has the fast pass that other people don't have. Having a Cashie gives you that moat. One sells info that anybody can find. The other one sells an experience that you can only get through them. You're in a much better selling position if you have a Cashie than if you just have info. Now, hopefully you kind of understand why this is important. Now, what Cashies should you build? You have a bunch of info, a bunch of recordings, a bunch of material, but what Cashies are the ones where you should start? And I'd like to leave you here with two mental models that you can take. You either sell a hot Cashie or you sell a habit Cashie. And I'll define both. So a hot Cashie is something that you know is going to sell, like the top selling courses in your industry, things that other people are selling. So for example, in fitness, that would be a training plan. In business, that would be a template for an email. In relationships, it would be something to optimize your Tinder profile. It's something very hot that you know there's some demand for this. And then there's habit Cashies. Now, habit Cashies are something that people will use in something that they are already doing. And that is the key. You cannot change people's behaviors when you sell them something. You have to help them do something faster, better, easier, more efficient. And so, for example, in fitness, you would sell something like a workout planner. In business, you would create something like a content creator. In relationships, you would find something that some people have a habit of. For example, how to respond to these conversations. It's like a role play Cashie. And so both of these help you find where the value is. Because right now, the only available thing for them is, well, info. It's courses. But if you can create a GPT that does these things, well, that puts you in a better position. It's like the fast pass tour guide. It gives you a moat, which means you can charge higher, you can deliver more value. It's just better for everybody. Now, the question here is, and you can pause the video if you need to, is which one feels more natural to you to build right now? Or even just as a mental exercise as you watch this. And there is no wrong answer. Maybe you have a hot Cashie that you think, yeah, this is good. Or a habit Cashie that you can help people through doing something that they are already doing. Now, once you've defined that, the next step is turning it into a course. Now, how do you turn your course into Cashies? And by course, I'm being very liberal with this sense. It could be a recording, it could be a workshop, a training, a template, a Google Sheet, a swipe file, something that just has words. So how do you build it? And the answer is you don't. You have AI build it for you. Because it is just very good at it. AI knows how to talk to AI. Like these are robots, they know each other, they're homies. And so you will get better results if you ask AI to build instructions for you than if you write the instructions yourself, because the AI knows itself. So to go really meta is a Cashie creates your Cashie. And you already did the work. You put all you know into a course. So let AI figure out the best way to deliver it. So here's a prompt, and you can just look at it in the description. It's going to be in a Google Doc. You just copy and paste this. So I'm going to show you how I use this. So copy, and then you go to the AI of choice, whatever you use. I like using Claude because I believe it's the more competent out of all of them. So I'm going to paste the prompt. And then what I'm going to add is I'm going to add whatever course, material, workshop, just info that I want to turn into some sort of Cashie. And then you press enter. Now I'm going to go over it, but you can look at the timestamps below if you'd like to skip over this process. But if you'd like to look at what it's like, it'll be with, I've read your Cashie creator prompt and the uploaded workout plan course file. What do you need done with these? Role play. And then it'll role play so that we'll create the Cashie that you might need. So it'll ask you for two things. What do you want this Cashie to do? What's the outcome and who's it for? So for context, I uploaded a workout plan that I created with AI that's pretty basic. It's how to create a workout plan. You work out, right? And you don't skip like this. Be better. So what I want this Cashie to do, what's the outcome and who's it for? I want to create a Cashie that creates workout plans for people. Upload everything you've got. I've already uploaded the thing you need. And then Claude is going to dig into the file and see what we're working with. You can upload transcripts, workshops, recordings, ebooks, Probably not recordings, but transcribes might be better. So it's going to give you an example of what the Cashie that it would build. So it starts with the workout plan Cashie, a hot one. It takes someone's goal, schedule, equipment, and experience level and outputs a training plan. Good to go? And I'll say, sure, good to go. This is just for education purposes. It's just an example. You can get really more autistic once you actually do this. So this time it was pretty fast. To you, it might ask some questions of what do you want this to look like? What do you want this to feel like? Do you want it more like an experience or like an asset as an output? But now this will do. So look at what it gave us. It gave us a workout plan Cashie. So you are the workout plan Cashie. You build personalized workouts for people. So it'll ask questions like, what's your goal, timeline, frequency, what's your equipment like, and then it will build the program. So right now we're gonna go for a test. Let's see how it looks. So you can copy your prompt and then you go to a different conversation and then you paste it. And you ask, let's roleplay. So this is V1, version 1 of your Cashie. So what you can do now is you can copy the prompt that it gave you. And remember, we don't wanna use the same chat because of the context window issue. So we want to open a new one to test it. So I would ask Claude something like this. Follow this prompt and take me through it as if I were using it. And then you just copy the thing that Claude gave you or whatever AI you use. And this is what your clients would see. What's your primary goal? 4 buckets: strength, hypertrophy, fat loss, or general fitness. So I'm going to go with strength because of course. What's your time frame? How many weeks are you planning for? So I'm going to act a little clueless. I don't know what you recommend. 12 weeks. Sure. Makes sense for me. How many days per week can you realistically train? Not ideally, realistically. Now, I made it so that the Cashie creator will have no M dashes, that it just screams AI slop. Hopefully it won't output it, but sometimes AI doesn't follow instructions, so you might need to add some tweaks there. So I'm going to go with 4. What equipment do you have access to? So for now, I have a local gym, which I do. We're building the home gym, but it'll take a while. How long have you been training consistently? So I'm going to go with intermediate. And look at how it takes me through a process out of a workout plan. And the same thing will happen when you upload your courses, trainings. It'll take people through a process that they're much more likely to actually go through because it's shorter, it's faster, and it is a little bit more interactive. It's more fun. Any injuries? Yeah, I have a knee injury. Real talk. Kind of sucks. We're going to go a little bit into the JK lore, so just meniscus pain. Not a big deal. And then it gave me some sort of a plan. Goal, time frame, frequency, equipment, experience, limitations. Good. But now, so I'm just talking to it like I'm a little clueless, right? And then he builds the plan for me. So goal statement: in 12 weeks, you will increase your main lift numbers by training 4 days per week on an upper lower split. And it takes me through what to do. So how many reps, how much rest, and look, like it created a workout plan. This is way more likely for somebody to stick to than if we just told them, yeah, watch this hour-long training and then you grab pen and paper and you do it. It's kind of a pain, right? But if we create this, can you imagine what this would do for your business and for your own clients? Your clients don't get results sometimes. Well, for many reasons, but one of them is we could make it easier for them to consume our stuff. And Cashies allow us to create that. Okay, so now we have our Cashie. We have our version 1, we have our first draft. How do we make it good? And you don't want to ship it as is. You want to at least run some trials to know that it will not recommend things that you wouldn't recommend. And know that the first draft will suck, and that's okay. Because, well, the gap between AI slop and the, oh my God, I need to pay for this thing, is where the money is. AI can do wonderful things. AI slop is just a term used for people who don't know how to create good prompts, frankly. And so if you know how to do it, and I'll show you how to do it, you will not have this issue. Now, there's 2 ways to test it. The slow way is to test it yourself. Pretend to be a user in a conversation and have a conversation. The fast way is to actually go even more meta and have AI simulate conversations so that you can catch the mistakes. And I'm going to give you a prompt for you to test here that will simulate these conversations for you. So here goes. I'm going to paste a prompt and I want you to role play 9 conversations. These are the situation that my clients are in. So A, B, C. Let's go back to the fitness example. Let's say the single mom with no time, the busy dad that drinks every weekend, and the guy that's a beginner but wants to get jacked. And these are the attitudes that they sometimes have. And you can give it the personality of some people which you might serve. Maybe somebody is snappy and kind of a pain to deal with. It just happens. Maybe somebody's very logical and analytical, an ISTJ type. Or somebody's really clueless and has no idea what's going on. 9 total conversations. When you're done, show me the conversations to analyze and suggest tweaks to the prompt for me to approve. At the end of this session, I want to leave with a new prompt I can test again until I think it returns something acceptable. What questions do you have? We're going to test this. So you open up a new chat, again, because of the context window issue, and you paste the thing that you already saw. So here in the situation that your clients are in, that's where you can talk to it. So busy mom, alcoholic dad, guy that's just a beginner. And then you just copy everything that I gave you and you paste the prompt that Cashie created for you. And then the AI will start thinking and simulating conversations for you so that then you can see, did it recommend something that I don't want to recommend? Is it talking in a way that I don't want it to talk? How can I make it better? And so you repeat this process, and within one sitting, you'll have something that is pretty good. Something that you've tested, well, AI tested for you, and it's valid, and you have a prompt. So then the AI came back to me. Depth of each conversation, complete combo. Alcoholic dad, we're testing for low motivation, not alcoholism. Failure modes. I wanna see the combo. Replicate as human as possible. And so sometimes AI will do things straight away. Sometimes it'll ask you questions and, well, it started. So it'll create a conversation. And so I won't wait for this because this might take maybe like 5-10 minutes. So it takes a while. But at the end, you'll be able to read it as in, this is how my users would interact with my Cashie. This is important. I want to pay attention to this kind of thing. Because you do. Because if people are gonna be using it, give them something good. So after you have something that you consider acceptable, you'll like it. Well, next up is, how do you sell it? And I want to give you 2 principles again here. Principle number 1 is sell then build. Principle number 2 is hot to cold. So sell then build first. I didn't have much Cashie creation knowledge. I was a newbie at it, but I wanted to see if it was worth committing to because I saw where the industry was headed and I wanted to be there when it arrived. And by the way, if you're watching this, it hasn't arrived there. I ask people sometimes at the airport, what normal people ask at conversations is, what AI do you use? So I ask people and dude, you're way behind. Like you're early to this. Don't worry about it. Why I do this, why I ask people to see if it's worth it to build, is it goes back to old marketing fundamentals. Claude Hopkins, which is, in my opinion, the writer of the best advertising and marketing book of all time, My Life in Advertising, would do this all the time with direct mail advertising. So before he sent, a mail, like a physical mail to all the country, he would just mail a specific city. And if it did well, he would do it with another city and another. And then if it did well in them, then he would go to the whole country. And I think that's very wise because if you can test how it's going to go with a small group, then you have a lot more certainty that it will do well with a bigger group. So you sell to a small segment. If it works, if you get a good response, then you commit. And that is a much better way than just sending it right off rip. That is how a lot of launches fail because they didn't do the pre-work needed. And a good frame to have for when you launch this, because frankly, you're probably new to this, and that's fine. I'm new to it too. I don't think even the big AI guys understand AI like to its core. It's fine. It's a new thing. So frame it as an experiment because it's something new that you're doing and see what comes back. If it doesn't do well, then maybe the hot Cashie isn't hot enough or the habit Cashie isn't actually an improvement to their lives. Whatever. You just save yourself a bunch of pain by not going that route because either way you get the truth and you can only scale a business off of a truth. It will save you a lot of pain down the road because you won't be building something that nobody wants. So start small. Now, what I like to do for sell then build is I just sent an email to my list with the idea that I had. So I'll try to recite it as I remember it. So it was something like, I have a vision for the future. It's called Cashie. And Cashie is going to be a GPT trained on what allowed me to create 3 businesses to over $1 million a year with only social media. It'll have stuff like creating your content, creating your offer, creating campaigns, remixing your offers, consulting me when you don't know what to respond to a lead. And I want to see if it's worth it. So if this is something that you'd be interested in, reply and I'll share updates when I'm ready. Just that. And that was the highest response email that I had in maybe like 2 years. Because this thing right now, this thing, selling GPT, this is hot. Like people want this thing. It's like you're the only fast Wi-Fi provider. Of course they're going to want you because everybody else is making them sit through 3-hour, 4-hour, 17-hour long masterclasses. You give them a Cashie that does the thing for them. Of course they'll prefer it. And so these things are hot now. This may not be the case in 2028, but it's not 2028. Make money. And the second strategy is hot to cold. So I believe in giving your clients access as an early test. Again, keyword test. Now, why clients? Because there's this contradiction, right? Of we want to give clients the best that we have. But there's also the fact that clients have the most patience, grace, and gratitude towards you. If you frame something as a test, as in, I'm developing this because I want to make this better for you, like, how can you not say yes to that? How can you not respect that? Like, yeah, I want to see some of it. Show me that. And then they'll tell you where it fails. And that is fine because they know that you're building something that will make their life better. So they will give you a lot of grace and allow you to build something great together. And you don't really need to trip too much about it because, well, it's for a mutual benefit. So you start with clients, people who pay you on a recurring basis. And then you go to customers, people who bought something but don't pay recurring. And this is actually really interesting for people who have already bought some info from you. Because if you already gave them some info, for example, a workout plan, you might say, hey, now you don't have to go through it. Would you like to see what it's like to have a Cashie do it for you? It takes 5 minutes. It's very likely that you'll get a yes. Then you go to your email list because I believe that people follow you because you seem interesting, but they join your email list because they are looking for a solution to a problem. So an email list is hotter than an audience. So you'd go to your email list next. And then at last, you would go to socials. After you've gone through all the pain of talking to clients, customers, and email lists, and now you have the data just like Claude Hopkins did that, well, it worked for a small city. Let's try a bigger city. You're going with confidence. This is how the really good marketers do it. And so to define each, start with clients. And it's simple. This is actually the message I'd send. Who'd like to try this and give me feedback? Done. Like you explain what it is and you ask, who'd like to try this and give me feedback? You'll be surprised. They probably do. And again, clients give you a lot of grace. They have a lot of patience. They appreciate you being willing to improve for their sake because you're trying. Like you'd be amazed at how people just don't try. So having a GPT, a cache that you can sell them, that sends a message. It's, yeah, I want to make this good for you. 2, then go to customers. Don't overthink this. Like my first Cashie was sold through a Stripe link. Speed to market matters more than funnel aesthetics. So I sold my first thing through a Stripe link. Who cares? If it's good, and they trust you, do you really need a big funnel? Probably not. You can create one later, and I do recommend you build one later, but we're in a testing phase. Again, this is an experiment. It's not just a marketing frame, it's also an operating frame for you. 3, sell it to your email list. And 4, then post about it to your socials. This is most people's first step. They just go to socials right away. But to us, it's our last step because we want to see if it works in a smaller group before committing to a big group. Now, I'd like to give you some sort of email launch sequence or post sequence that you can use to test it. And I'd like to use 8 with some principles. So the first one is realization of I found a better way and I'm excited to show it to you this week. 2, solution. So you explain kind of the email that I recited to you of I have a vision, this is what I wanted to do, this is better, this is faster, and you say this is for you. 3 and 4 are demos. This is the best way to sell Cashies. If you just demo what it does. For my content creator Cashie, I just recorded a Loom with terrible lighting on, hey, this is what it does. And some people were like, yeah, I want this. And it was a pretty good launch. 5 is proof. Your clients already gave you some proof. You have the conversations of, well, what it does, so you can use that. 6 is a teaser, as in this is what's coming tomorrow. This is what you can expect. 7 is the launch. You open the doors. A Stripe link is enough. If you have the time and the effort to create a funnel, yes, it will work better. But if it's going to slow you down, then I don't recommend you do that because you can launch unlimited. You can make as many Cashies as you want, just like you have unlimited lessons in your brain. Each one of them could be a Cashie. And 8 is closing it. Now, this is a belief of mine, but I believe that consequences move people faster than value does. So I believe in taking things off the market so that people understand that there is something to lose for not taking action. So I like to close things. So what do you promote instead? Maybe another Cashie, maybe your client program, maybe a workshop, a tutorial, or an offer that has already done well. I like to cycle offers because it trains the audience to a degree to move faster. And you can use this in socials and on email. But by the time you do that, a lot of the work has already been done. You already tested it yourself, you gave it to clients, then sold it to customers, then sold it to your list. You have so much data, which gives you a much higher chance to convert. And the last step is, well, you get paid once. Why don't we turn this into a membership? Something that gets you paid in a constant basis. Now, this is where I found a really big blocker, and I'll share it with you. I wanted to do this in ChatGPT, just like, there's the GPT store and you can create GPTs and give it to other people. But I found that there's a massive disadvantage with this. And it's that you cannot revoke access. And memberships work because you can revoke access, because you can take people away. And so if someone has the link to your GPT, then their Cashie is forever theirs. If I give you a link to a PDF of a workshop and I wanted to charge you for that in a recurring basis, I cannot do that because you already have it. Like, why? There's no incentive. And so if you cannot revoke access, then how can you create a membership of it? And so what I did was I created my own platform. That's what I did. And this means that you cannot charge for a subscription. And this made me think, how do I do this? Because I believe in this and I know this is where the industry is headed. So what can I do? And so this made me work for 6 months and relearn a lot of my computer science background from college. And I found 2 routes to solve it. So both are viable depending on your skill set, time, effort, and focus. You could vibe code your own. And this is actually what I did. So I built my own platform and, well, I vibe coded it. And so I don't want to pretend that this is a hard thing to do. I'd say it's more tedious than hard. Getting a product 95% of the way there via vibe coding is actually not that hard. It's the last 5% that is kind of a drag with authentication and APIs and memory and cache. It's just a lot to do, right? But you can figure it out. I'm not saying you can't. There's a bunch of tutorials on YouTube that shows you how. And the second one is you can rent one. So there's a bunch of solutions. I built one. It's called Cashie.bot. It's free to start and you only pay for your users' conversations, which means you only pay after they pay you. I'm going to show you a demo on how that works after this. But ultimately, the choice is up to you. Like, this trend is happening, man. Like, it's going to happen. And AI is never going to be worse than it is right now. And so if other people are buying it, I thought, why am I not selling it? And so choose either if you believe in, yeah, this is where the future is headed, like AI clones, like clearly, which I do believe in and I'm in that boat. So choose the one that fits you the most. I'm going to show you mine now. So upon the ChatGPT limitation hammer, what I did is I created my own. So I go to Cashie.bot. This is how I create my caches. And I create an account. It's free to start. So I just log in here. And this is my dashboard. So what I do here is I go to caches and then I go to create tool. So I'm creating a cache. So in this case, the cache that we created is the workout plan creator. I'm going to upload a logo. So it's nice. So I'm going to upload probably me, you know, the epitome of fitness, clearly. So now you're going to go to the instructions for your AI. This is how you want it to behave. So we take the prompt that Cashie gave us, and then this is how it behaves. Now, remember, it gives you what are the knowledge base files, the model recommendations that you might need. So for me, I would go with knowledge base files, none needed. So you're good. Quick actions. So I can add these quick actions. Build my plan. I want to get stronger. I want to build muscle. I want to lose fat. I would add them here under quick actions. So I'm going to make a cut here and you'll see what it looks like. Build my plan. I want to get stronger. I want to lose fat. I just want to be healthy. And so I'll click auto send so that when I click it, it'll, auto send. Model recommendation. So it says Claude with a thinking model. Now, different models do different things. For me, ChatGPT is kind of the worst one. It's the ugly sister. So I wouldn't really use it for this. Claude is actually the most competent at human touch. Now, Gemini, I believe, is the best one at researching and at writing. So I go with Claude. A thinking model, it recommended Sonnet. So I would choose Sonnet. And for a welcome message, I build workout plans. Tell me your goal and I'll walk you through a few quick questions, then hand you a complete plan you can take to the gym today. So this goes in the welcome message. And then we're done. So I go to create Cashie and our Cashie is created. So I would invite a user. Somebody pays you and you add them over here. So example@gmail.com. Example. And then that will create an invite link for them to use. So before they even talk to your caches, you can go over here and you can manage the caches that they have access to. So if you have 5, you can give them, well, however many they paid for. And the beauty of this is that the moment they stop paying, you go here and deactivate them. So the only way to use your caches is through paying you, like it should be. So then they go to your Cashie homepage, which you create over here, and they can create a password. And so they're already here. And this is what they see. You can customize what this is. You can customize the image, but let's go over the Cashie that we created, the experience that your clients would have. So they can see already there's a workout plan creator and they can click on, I want to lose fat. And a conversation starts right here with the Cashie that, well, frankly, AI created for you. But you already did the work before because you already have the courses, material, workshops. And this is, well, leverage. You can help people a lot more through this. In my case, 1,000 messages go through my Cashie every day. So if I make my Cashie a little bit better, I get the impact of 1,000 times a day. If I record a course, well, I can only maybe do it once, so I only have one shot. Whereas here I have infinite, so I can keep making it better for the people that use it. And that's why I like it so much more. Okay, back to the action plan, because we covered a lot, is start with picking your Cashie type. Do you want to go with a hot Cashie or with a habit Cashie? 2. Use the prompt that I gave you to turn your course into all 4 components that you'll need to create a Cashie. 3. Test with 9 simulated conversations until it's exceptional, until it is acceptable to you and you're proud to sell it. 4. Sell then build. And frame it as an experiment, because no matter how good you think it is, you're going to find a lot of edge cases with your own clients when they tell you things that, this wasn't as tight as I thought it was. And that's okay, because you're building something for their sake and they will appreciate it. 5, go from hot to cold. So start with clients, then sell it to customers, then sell it to your email list, and then sell it to socials. And I gave you the email and the post cadence. And 6, host on a membership platform, which you can vibe code or rent and charge recurring access to it so that you can. It's kind of poetic in a way, because if you're selling coaching and consulting, you're adding a software component to it, a software recurring revenue stream to it. And that is incredibly exciting to me. I don't know what it's like to you, but it is incredibly exciting to me because it is so hot, it's selling really well, and it's so much more valuable. It's 12 times as valuable as any course that I could ever create. So if I can deliver 12 times the value, it's selling better, it gets better results, and I can charge a recurring access for it, then why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't you? And that's why I did, and I picked this move. And you can repeat this video strategy, you can rewatch it or save it for any Cashie you launch in the future. And you can charge access for it. And I'll leave you with this. Just like everyone today sells courses, everyone in the future will sell Cashies. And now maybe courses have this sort of negative connotation. Oh, you just sell a course. Well, it's because, they sold courses in the past and it made a ton of money. It's making less money now, but back then they got rich. And so the same thing is happening to Cashies, and you're right where it's like going on a climb. And it's my goal to help you get there first. Because by the time somebody watches this video or they catch up to the trend in 2029, you already have your Cashies up, pumping, helping, delivering value, and selling. And so hopefully this video was helpful to you. See you.